Hi, my name is EJ Massa. I might look a little different to you. That's because I lost my glasses in a glasses fire. Oh no, my glasses. Oh. But that's okay, because I got something fun to review. It's a 2x anamorphic projection lens adapter, Schneider Cinelux. Wait, EJ Massa, you big dumb ogre. Didn't you just review an anamorphic adapter? Well, you know how I love my anamorphs.
You see, it's a man that turns into not a man. Why can't I do this? Dad, why can't I do this?
So this adapter was originally used with movie projectors to de-squeeze anamorphic movies shot on 35mm film. But since these were made for movie projectors that, only projected at a fixed distance, they were oftentimes focused once, and that was it. You focus this with a little thumb screw, and it's really annoying. So using it with DSLR filmmaking is technically feasible, but it's not very practical because you have to focus on the adapter and on the taking lens. It's a shame because these adapters are fairly sharp and plentiful on eBay. I mean, what can you do? Well, that's where this guy comes in. It's the focus module from the anamorphic shop. What it does is it uses a diopter mechanism so you can easily focus these anamorphic lenses on the fly. No longer do you have to deal with these dual focusing mechanisms. You don't have to fudge it with the focus. You don't have focus fudge all over your lenses. And you have to buy new lenses because you just got fudge all over them, you know what I mean? On top of that, it's currently cheaper than a lot of anamorphic solutions on the market right now, especially 2x adapters. Just in case you haven't seen my other anamorphic reviews, anamorphic lenses are used to capture a wider frame of view, squeezing them onto the image frame of the camera. Then you de-squeeze them in post for a more cinematic look. With this lens combo, you get double the horizontal image. For example, here's an image I took with a 50mm lens. Now let's see how it looks at the same distance and focal length, but with an anamorphic adapter. You couldn't even see this garbage in the other shot. Let me show you how to put it together. Let me show you how to put it together. First, you put the projection lens thingy into this collar provided by the anamorphic shop. Try to align the oval vertically the best you can, and then tighten the hex screws. It's a heavy lens, so make sure you have a rail system to support it. Next, you can screw on the provided step-up ring. This brings the rear thread to the standard 72mm. Make sure the projection lens adapter is focused to infinity. Then, carefully slide the focus module onto the adapter. When you get it on all the way, you can tighten the little hex screws. The official instructions say to calibrate the taking lens by setting the focus module to 1 meter away, and then focusing the taking lens until an object 1 meter away is in focus. But I found that's usually just infinity anyway, so I just set the taking lens to infinity. Then finally, you can loosen the screws on the projection lens and use a strong flashlight to align the flare to a grid. Or you can use a door frame or something you can align vertically. Then tighten the screws, then you're good to go. Phew! Man, I did that whole explanation without one lame attempt at humor.
You proud of me?
So, if I do the math, 2 times on a 16:9 image would make the aspect ratio 3.55 to 1, which kind of just makes a strip of an image.
What am I filming here? Garbage? What am I doing?
Luckily, Panasonic just released a firmware update for the GH4 that allows an anamorphic mode. This means you can use more horizontal lines of the sensor in a 4:3 aspect ratio. Hey, maybe I should review that too! That's right, you get 2 reviews for the price of 1. You bought the first one, and you get the second one. What? The first one was free too? Then why the fuck do I do? Now you could use this anamorphic mode to just shoot 4:3. I mean, you could. In fact, 4:3 is almost a lost art at this point. But the main feature of this mode is to use a 2x anamorphic lens to get a more sane aspect ratio of 2.66 to 1. It's very easy to set up. You just go into the menu and you turn it on.
That's it.
Now, since this is a cinematic combination, I think it deserves a cinematic demonstration. Forget about those random shots of cats and flowers. No, I'm going to show you my short film. Groundbreaking short film. Francis. Roll the tape, please.
I wonder if there is a God and if he is proud of us. I wonder if he watches Game of Thrones. I wonder if he's proud that we made Game of Thrones. This city is bitter, like oysters. I never had oysters, but they seem like they'd be bitter because they look like snots and vaginas. Sometimes I try to imagine a world with no dogs, and I get scared or sad. I want to punch everything. I wish I could punch a ghost. I want the world to be more exciting. Why can't it be like the internet, where I can have sexy Harry Potter adventures? I wish I was a better man, or a dinosaur.
Turns out, we are all Francis. It's deep. It's deep. Okay, it's time to make tacos now. It's taco day. Taco! It's truly the greatest thing that mankind has ever created. Except for that one time I filmed a squirrel pushing another squirrel off of a tree. That was good too. But now that I've created a masterpiece with these tools, how do I feel about them? First, the focus module. Well, it's pretty dang heavy. It's kind of hard to go handheld with it, and I mostly relied on a tripod. It's possible to go handheld with it, especially if I rest it on my gut. That kind of works. I also had trouble rack focusing with it. It would jiggle and warp too much for my liking. But maybe that would be alleviated slightly if I had one of those focus gear gizmos, which I don't. With the lenses I used, which were old Nikon lenses, I had to stop down a tiny bit. That's because if I didn't, it would be overly soft. And this is pretty typical of anamorphic adapters. But experiment with your own lenses, you might have different results. The projection lens I was using was multi-coated, so I couldn't get it to flare very well.
No J.J. Abrams. No pew 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 for EJ.
There are other anamorphic lenses that are compatible with the focus module, so pick the one that flares the best for you. There's a list of compatible lenses on the Anamorphic shop's website. But you know, other than that, the focus module was super easy to use. Now, you wouldn't believe it, but that short film I did took no time. I know, hard to imagine. But I was able to set up shots quickly, really nail the focus, and just move along. The images were sharp, and I'm really happy with the results. Especially for the price, and especially since anamorphic adapters and lenses can be really expensive. I think in the end I prefer the image of the Bolex anamorph that I have, because it has more character, but it isn't as easy to focus, and it doesn't have a 2x stretch, so it's a trade-off. As far as the GH4's anamorphic mode, it worked like a charm. I love having 4x3 24 frames per second at my disposal. The one thing I'd want Panasonic to add is an automatic D-squeeze, even if at least to view, just so I'm not looking at a squished image. I have to say, a year later, the GH4 is still a delight to use, and I'm glad Panasonic has continued to update it, and hopefully vlog as soon. To me, it still holds its own in the vast, changing landscape of digital cameras. So there you have it! Now it's even easier to make cinematic movies. Just go to the anamorphicshop.com, or you can go on eBay and search for focus module, and you can get it. And you can film videos of your cat, and a flower, and then you get bored. And you put the lens in your closet. And you quietly think about your own mortality. Until you have to buy a new thing, and then all's right again. Okay, bye.
Special thanks to Frankie from Red Cow Entertainment for starring in my short film. You can click the Red Cow to see some funny stuff he's got going on, including a series called Box Mac, a series in search of the best Box Mac. Here's an episode where I make a guest appearance. If you like what you saw here and you want to see more anamorphic goodness, check out my previous review. And if you want to see a recent shoot where I use a couple anamorphic lens adapters in a practical setting, here's a music video I did for Boston.com's radio station, Radio BDC. And as always, make sure to subscribe. Thanks!
She says, "Oh girl, it's a cold world when you keep it all to yourself." She says you can't hide on the inside all the things we ever felt. You gotta run up your heart, man, and don't look back, 'cause we got nobody else. We're running with the shadows of the night. So baby, take my hand, you'll be alright. The man I'm trying to mean now, in the end.